For all the mid to late game players, we know exactly how long an RNG dependent relic grinding is, but for most new players, they just don't know how long each mission can take and just how many times they need to rerun it in order just to farm a single frame. In this video, I'm going to show you my experiences with farming to get Zaku, and is it even worth doing? And I'll show you in a bit just the math and all of my personal experiences with this last relic farm. Relics, whether you love them or hate them, play a really big part of the Warframe ecosystem. They help you collect not only primes, but also forma, and they're even a way of farming the premium currency platinum. But as most players know by now, they are abysmal to farm particular relics, especially when a new prime is released, and this last farming session for Zaku really got my gears grinding. So I thought, what better of a time to tell you about the pains of relic farming than right after the big 1999 drop, where most players are going to be farming their favorite primes and equipment just to prepare for the whole update. This graph right here will show up a few times throughout the video, and it also will display the extent of my agony trying to get some of these prime parts, and how you guys could avoid the same suffering I have. The first graph is just a simple bar graph showing how many times I farmed, how many I opened in total, and how many I got out of it, which as you can see is not very many. The second graph is the same thing, it just shows farm versus success chances, which are in the smallest of a fraction of a percent. I ran 83 Lith, 47 Neo, 3 Axie, and 0 Meso runs. I added 40 for each successful open, just as an average from the Lith relic drop chances, so that's why there's some in the Neo and Meso categories, even though I didn't actually farm those myself. And I'll get into how long this took me here in a minute, but as you can see, it's just an insane amount of missions I had to run just for one frame. No, I only did these solo or with a random squad, so your mileage may vary on what you get, but it might help to get a dedicated group for this. For my builds, I mostly just ran Neza for the capture missions on the Lith relics, which the speed really helped make the mission go by quicker. But I would suggest Volt or Gauss for their speed, I just didn't have them at the time. For the more long-winded missions and opening the relics themselves, I just ran Kalervo with a super simple build, just modded for strength and duration, but to be honest, you could just run whatever you currently have, because it's just opening relics, so low-level missions will work. But in my case, I ran Conjunction Survival and Alchemy missions, so I didn't have to do mission swaps every time I wanted to change my relics. These can be found near the bottom of the Void Fishers tab if you want to play the same missions I did. The math for the graphs is super simple, it's just a division of the success rate and the times farm, which gives us an overall percentage of the chance of you getting the part you're needing from that one relic. So 1.22% divided by 83 is 0.0001%. To be fair, my farming wasn't 100% optimized, but as you can see, I had to run these missions over 253 different times. And this was all to just get one frame, not even the weapons. If we give a very conservative range of 3 minutes per mission, I would say I spent over 21 hours just trying to farm the relics. That's not even considering the time needed to open them, because that could vary wildly. So I'll have to make a relic opening guide at some point, I guess. I'll show off my Aya that I gained from here for anyone who's interested in how much I gathered just from farming. And before you ask, no, it was not a lot, nor do I think it's worth farming Aya this way, since running bounties on Fortuna has a way higher chance of dropping them. That brings us to the end of the data/math portion of the video, and now we can get into discussing my thoughts on dedicated prime farming. Do I think it's worth it with the data I've gathered so far? Well, yes and no. If your luck with RNGs is anything like mine and you insist on only running with randoms because you're forever alone, then no. Just buy the parts on the market, they're not that expensive, they're like 30, maybe 20 platinum. But if you have friends with the same relic, or use the in-game recruiting chat to find other players running the same relic, then maybe. It was the only way I was able to get Zaku because, as I said, I didn't farm for the Meso relics. So it will save you on farming those relics. Plus, you could even pick up some lucky drops that you didn't even know you wanted. And I would still say if you aren't interested in grinding for relics, then just buy them from the market. It's way more efficient that way. Plus, in the meantime, those groups in my experience only run refined relics, and to be fair, best of luck finding anyone in the recruiting chat, since that thing moves faster than the flash on fentanyl. Personally, I enjoy running void fishers and relics for new prime parts, because I stream them on Twitch, so it's something to do in the downtime. But God knows, if you're going for one specific weapon, it's really gonna kick you while you're down. It just never seems like you get anything you want in a timely manner. But now I could say I got my shiny Skelly Boy, which means until Calero Prime comes out and I could cry myself to sleep knowing I'll have to farm that over again, he's gonna be my new frame. And that's where I'll leave it here for today. I could say this video took me a lot longer to make than I was hoping, just because of the sheer amount of time it took me to farm Zaku. During this time, I got a fresh perspective on farming, and I will definitely be looking into the Warframe Discord and some groups when running these missions over again. And hey, we'll be looking to do more informational / smart videos here on the channel, so if you like what you see and you want more Warframe content, please hit that like and follow and let me know down below with your experiences of farming relics and other farming things. Or just let me know what I should cover next. Anyways, I'll see you later. Bye!
And she made me wanna act right. Windy city by the coastline.